soul of that defense.
Tristan Wirfs getting better and better all year.
Richard Wood, number 54.
Bucks' fourth-round draft choice out of Wake Forest, center Tony Mayberry.
Intercepted, and it's a touchdown. Rondé Barber.
What was the biggest separating factor for you, for all of you guys in your career?
That's a good question. Mine's easy. I did a bunch of stuff nobody else did, and I was fortunate, man. I had a great defensive coordinator that gave me freedom to, kind of define a position, trusted me with a lot of things that defense needed, and 16 years later, I was rewarded for it. So, about you, Batman? I mean,
oh my God,
original team now. This is different.
Yeah. Wow. Separation factor. God Almighty. The first year down here, guys, was wow. An experience I wouldn't want any of you to go through. Let's put it like that, because it was hard. It was hard. Coming up in my career, high school, college, winning state championships, national championships, get to pro sports. Wow, is this what it's like? No. Okay, so you have to have that frame of mind. I'm going to do better myself, or do I fall into this mode where I'm a professional and I'm just gonna, just jog along with everybody else? No, you're not. You can't do that. If you're a winner in your mind, you will find a way to do what you need to do.
Right. Lavonte, you replaced a legend. Yeah. How does that question translate to you?
Oh man, it was big. I would say for me, it's probably like self-accountability. Just coming from college, having all structure, knowing you're supposed to be, knowing the things that you're supposed to do, having people who, roommates, and having people who you could count on to kind of tell you where you're supposed to be and stuff like that. And then, coming in the league, just having to do everything on my own basically. So I had to kind of grow up, So I had to, set hundreds of alarms. And when I first came in, it was a pretty strict time when I came in. So I had to make sure.
None of y'all had to deal with that.
Yeah, I had to make sure I had to be where I needed to be. And I learned really quick, this is a man's game. This is a man's world. I had to grow up really, really fast. And I think that's the big thing for me. And once I got a hang of all that, everything else kind of clicked in, the discipline clicked in, the accountability kicked in, and I was able to, grow myself, help myself, be a leader and help other guys too as well.
I'll tell you this, being around great players makes you want to separate.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, you were one of our greatest offensive tackles of all time, right?
I played center, but that's okay.
Yeah, but you were on the offensive line with one of our best.
I was. I had I was a unique situation, probably from any of y'all, is that I got here, my first 3 years, I had 3 different head coaches.
Yes, that's right.
Rookie year, coach got fired. Second year, coach got fired. Third year, coach stayed on for a couple years, but he eventually got fired as well. So my situation was completely different in the sense that I was pretty jaded as far as what it meant to really be a part of a team or part of a culture. Fortunately for me, coach number 4 happened to be a guy who pretty much laid the groundwork for what Tampa turned out to be, and that's Coach Dungy.
No doubt.
And I'm not saying that he alone just magically made things happen, because we had future Hall of Famers in that locker room, quite a few actually. And but what it was the culture, the concept of being accountable, the concept of doing something that's, because talk about 3 years into it, everybody was out for themselves, right? But when he showed that it wasn't really about you, right? It was about the team and about what you do off the field, on the field, all that matters. And all of a sudden, everybody was on the same page. And that brought my game up, because I was accountable for everything I did. And people were looking for me. Just how centers are, man. You got to be on top of stuff.
Yeah.
You got to call. Your first one, you got to find the ball, call the huddle, right? You got to call. You're waiting for, right? Every time, especially if it's audible, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of responsibility goes on there. But when you make it not so much about yourself and not messing up, but making sure that what you do makes the team better.
Right.
That's when you take the next step.
You know what? That leads me to a pretty decent point, because I don't know if you can answer that question that Emeka asked us, because you came right in and you knew exactly what you were, but it transitions us into a good conversation of, like, what was your welcome to the NFL moment? Because obviously you were great in college. We all were good players in college, but what's your moment?
Oh my gosh. I think I have a couple of them, honestly. Number one is probably meeting Tom for the first time. That's like, I'll never forget that. I had one with Will Golston, my first training camp, like just running a backside cutoff on him, just presses me right back into Tom, like on a run play. I was like, I just think I messed up the handoff. I was like, oh my gosh. And then there's one I was going against Khalil Mack, and I remember all week, I think it was my 4th or 5th game, like all week long, I was like looking at like YouTube clips, like other guys going against him. I'm like, I don't know, trying to find something that works. I was like, this guy's crazy.
Right.
I go out in the game, I'm starting to do all this crazy stuff, and I like flash my hand, and I was like, he didn't bite on it at all. I'm like, okay, here we go. And then he does like a little judo flip, and I was like, and then in my head, it was COVID, so like in my head, I was like, oh, nobody saw it, like it's fine. And I'm like, it's Thursday Night Football, everybody saw it. It's Thursday Night Football and it's COVID, everybody saw it. And I like get back to the locker room, like my buddy's like, it wasn't that bad. I was like, okay. I said, you're texting me, so it was that bad. And I was like, that was probably, that's one everybody knows. That's probably my biggest welcome to the NFL moment.
I had a bunch of, I think Lavonte probably knows this because he was around my last year, but my first year, I didn't play at all, right? I didn't touch the field. Wasn't good enough in training camp. I was probably out of shape. Don't ask me why. But I played in one game that year, and it was against Arizona Cardinals. Do you know who Rob Moore is?
Yeah.
You know that name? Well, I made him like a Pro Bowler that year in that one game. It was like a legit, I'm not good enough moment, right? And I talk about this a lot. Like when self-doubt creeps in.
That's right.
That's when you start. You start.
That's right.
Wondering whether or not you're good enough.
Absolutely.
And obviously, we were good enough in high school and college.
Right.
We were in the pro.
That's true.
That was a moment I had a lot of self-doubt, and it was also my welcome to the NFL moment, where I was just like, I don't know if I can do this.
So what do you do when that self-doubt comes? What's the approach?
You know what? I was fortunate that I had, like Lavonte did, had great veterans ahead, and they just, hey man, you need to learn how to be a pro.
That's
All
right.
this stuff you thought you were coming in here wasn't good enough. I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, you played with one of the best ever, right? You got one of our first Hall of Famer.
Leroy Selman, hey,
Right, he
what a
had that
great
mentality.
leader! What a great leader mentality. I mean, the work habits that this man had every day, nothing could make Leroy slow down. It was always work, work, work. What do we need to do to get better? Being in a positive mindset, like him and his brother, both basically, coming to Tampa, it was, oh man, we needed that to make our unit better, our team better. And we fed off of that. I mean, this man, first knee, his knee gets hurt, I'm back. You see the guy training hard to come back. And just that work habit, that you'd see the positive attitude. And Abe Gibbon, one of our greatest coaches, being in his mind and his face every day, it wasn't anything negative about it. It was the work that he was putting in that you could see, because he wanted to be that example for the rest of the guys. And guys, I wouldn't want anybody to go on 26. Oh my God. I mean,
That's real adversity.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a brother who played pro baseball, and I think I called him once a week just to make sure to get my mind. I mean, what do I need to do to make myself a better player, and my teammates, because I wasn't in this by myself. What do I need to do? I mean, Tampa Stadium is full every week. I mean, the fans are cheering. All you see is orange. And I mean, it's, you know, what do we give these fans? I mean, you have to give them your best. And they hung in. And you win that first game. What a sight. Oh, what a sight. And I just say, you know, people who are great, you know, they rise to the top, and that's your example. And luckily we had a few. And as we were talking about veterans, Jamie Rivers, Council Rudolph, you know, guys who had been around the league for a while. And they stayed in my ears all the time. You know, it is a different ball game that you're playing now, guy. So you have to, you know, you got to bring your game up, you know. And it wasn't negative. Everything was positive. And that's what made me feel, hey, I'm being accepted because I'm working hard. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough.
Along those lines too as well. I just remember my rookie year coming in, you know, through all training camp, you know, I'm just getting the calls. I'm not making all the calls or whatever. And then the night before the game, Saturday night meetings, they come to me and tell me I got the green dot, I got to make all the calls. Ooh. So I didn't know how to act towards that, you know. It was my first game as a rookie, you know what I'm saying? And all the pressure's on me for guys like Rondé to get the call, you know? So I just remember it was one point in the game where, like, I'm waiting on the call and everybody like, what's the call, what's the call? And I'm like, I'm stuck. And then I just remember him pulling me to the side, telling me just calm down, you know, just get the call, make sure everybody got it. If not, just call something. And that right there just eased my mind the whole time. And like, he did, like, just watching him, you say you watching veterans and stuff like that. It was a pretty young team for the most part.
Right.
But, you know, watching you, the way you know, moved around, the way you handled yourself, the way you were on the field. And like, you know, we played dime together, so we was right next to each other. So we definitely had to communicate and talk. So having a veteran guy, older guy right there next to you to kind of like calm your nerves and stuff like that, kind of like that part right there helped me out big time, because I was one of the most nervous moments I ever had in my life, for real.
Whether you're wrong with the call or right with the call, as long as we all got the same call.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
Doesn't matter.
Never mind.
Right. Tell me, all of y'all, not you ain't seen it yet. Yeah, but tell me when you knew you could play with them. I want you to answer this one. Like, when did you know? I mean, obviously you ended up being really good really early, but when did you know?
That rookie training camp, I was kind of going through that, like, I'm not good enough thing. Cause we had JPP and Shaq Barrett.
Oh my God.
And they're just like, yeah, they're like, go ahead. So it took me a while to kind of get over that, like, that not good enough phase. Cause like they were just eating my lunch every day. Like, I remember Shaq hit me with something. Like, I felt like I blinked and he was like running by Tom, tagging off. I was like, sorry, Tommy. I was like, I'll be better. I remember the end of my rookie season. I remember the Super Bowl, like when we found out we were gonna play the Chiefs. I was so excited because like we had played the Chiefs earlier that year, and I was like, I blocked Frank Clark before. I was like, I can shut him down. And I remember like sitting there, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, I'm not like as nervous anymore. But
Frank's just a number at this point now.
It was just. I remember that moment where I was like, oh, like I'm excited to. I was like, I know it's gonna be good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was just a kind of accumulation, like that whole rookie season. Like stuff was going well. You know, I had a lot of. I mean, I had Lavonte, we had Tom, Gronk, we had all these vets that I was looking up to. You said it earlier too. It's like having good guys around you makes you want to separate. And it's like watching these guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to be like that. I want to, you know, take it to the next level. But yeah, I think it's just accumulation that rookie season. Like I was doing well, and I think at the time I didn't understand like the magnitude of what like they tossed me into, like blocking for Tom. I was just like, all right. Yeah, this is, you know, just playing football.
This is what everybody has.
This is what everybody does, you know. And then game after game, I was like, that wasn't bad. And I think just, you know, building your confidence up. And then we had one day, it was like, I can do this.
I got another question for all of y'all. Was there a person that like you leaned on when you first got to Tampa? This is gonna relate to him because I'm gonna ask him who he's leaning on already. But like, who'd you lean on when you first got here?
Me?
Yeah.
Just the guys on the O-line. The funny thing is, O-line is kind of different from a lot of positions in the sense that, you know, bro, we're out there, right? We're doing the Lord's work out there, and we try to stay out of, we don't want our name called, right?
Right.
We just want to do our job. And in order for us to do our job the best, it takes the rest of the guys to do their job as well. So you develop a real tight core. And when I first got in, young guys, I came in, a guy, Ian Beckles, was with me, right? And we were both, I was a 4th rounder, he was a 5th rounder, and we looked at the line. Paul Gruber was there, and Paul was a 1st rounder, celebrated guy out of Wisconsin. And right off the bat, we just look towards exactly like all we do. We look toward the older guys, the ones that have been here. They getting paychecks, they know what they're doing, right? And it seems like they all have the same qualities, right? They're disciplined, they do the right things, right? They take football real seriously. And those things just pop out. And obviously the ones, God bless them, that as you go on through the years, the ones that don't do those things, right? For some reason at the end of the day don't make it. And they certainly, the ones that do make it there, just don't ever excel, right? So there's a level every time you go to. And I always noticed that that's what I wanted to kind of pride myself on and watch is who's the guys doing the right thing. And despite all the turmoil and changeover that I talked about my first few years, once it got stable, once we got guys in there that did those things and personified those things, it really became second nature,
Right.
And so the position of O-line itself makes you have to be reliable and reliant on the cats next to you.
Right.
Because you're all in it together. You're only as good as your weakest link. And if you can uplift somebody, if you get to enough ability that you can not only handle your business, but uplift, now in every position that's important. All 3 linebackers are working straight, then that's good, right? Obviously, the DBs, right? They all in sync, it works great. White House, right? Everybody's open, right? When you're doing everything right. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's all about being a group and being prideful in the group you're in.
Right. So your group.
Yeah, I would say for me, at least this early on, you guys know how much time the rookies spend together. Like we're doing everything together. We don't even lift with the rest of y'all. We by ourselves, Coach AP, all that type of stuff. So I think I'm definitely growing a close bond with a lot of the rookies, especially all the wide receivers that we got in our room. And then as far as when everybody's together, I think probably Mike and Chris and Baker, they can attest, but like I'm a huge question asker. Like I recognize the situation that I'm in and the people who are surrounding me, and I'm not just gonna let that opportunity go by. I'm gonna learn as much as I possibly can. So, I probably annoy them with how much I ask questions, but I'm gonna ask them regardless, because I'm I want to be great.
This is a good one for you, because as much as you respect those guys, you're still competing with them.
Absolutely.
So talk about your confidence in competing with the guys in your room. I want all of y'all to answer that, because yours is probably different. But I have a good competitive story from when I got to the league. So how you can compete with those guys?
Yeah, I think there's a balance between, knowing your spot and knowing your place as a rookie, especially coming in. I think, the only experience I have is being in college and having freshmen come in. I really respect the freshmen or the rookies who work the hardest, who put their head down, who ask questions, and they know that they need to grow and they need to learn. So I'm trying to be in that role that they were in, but also having confidence in my game. Like, there was a lot of cards that fell in place for me to be in the spot today, but I also did put in a lot of hard work to get here, and I know that I have a lot of God-given ability. So trusting in that and putting that on the field.
Batman, competition when you first got here.
Well, Rondé, I wanted to come in. I wanted to be the best linebacker I could be, and I had some great examples. As I said, Jamie Rivers had been playing 10 years, and this guy stayed on my case all the time. Ralph Baker, one of the Jets who was there in the Super Bowl. So I come to Tampa, and Steve Reese, who played with me up in New York, he was here already. But I had constantly asked the questions that needed to be asked about that playbook. It became so, should I say, so intense that, you know, I would constantly have that book with me wherever I went. So I had to learn it because I wanted to be a great player. I just didn't want to come in the league and just be. No, there's no such thing.
Right.
The biggest goal as a professional should be to win a championship, period. And winning championships, everybody gets the accolades afterwards. That's what my concern was, but I wanted to be that linebacker.
You want to be a piece of it.
Oh, boy, I wanted to get those hits. I wanted to make those plays.
Right.
And I just, you know, thank God that I had great veterans, you know, who, you know, take you up under their wing and say, hey, look, come on, Rook. You know, I mean, there were players, you know, I'm on the same team with Joe Namath and Emerson Boozer, you know, some of the great guys who went to the Super Bowl. And they made me look bad.
Right. Right.
But you learn from it. You take it and run with it. And hey, the next day, you're not going to do it again. So, I mean, it was an honor.
So for both of y'all, this is a little bit different because both of y'all started right away. So this is actually just for him because, like, you competed.
Yeah.
But you competed in my mind versus everybody in the league.
Yeah.
You don't get any respect. You only made one All-Pro. All this, you know, one of the best linebackers in history. Talk about your competitive spirit because of that.
Yeah, man. Like you said, it was different for me. You know, coming in the room, you know, everybody was essentially learning a whole new defense at the same time. And, you know, the only, you know, older guys was Quincy Black, who I looked, you know, really tight with, Adam Haywood, Dakota Watson, those guys. But I learned quickly that some of those guys really they weren't really a role guy on defense. They were special team guys. So, you know, and then the only other guy was Mason Foster and Quincy Black. So we was the starting three coming in, and then just everything else was just competing for that dime linebacker spot. And then, you know, just coming in, learning everything, you know, was able to, you know, like I said, when I came in, I call our class like the test dummy class. So we had to do everything everything they was doing, we did it times 10, basically.
Exactly.
So I had like, y'all be in the meeting with like, we from 6 to 6, bro, like meeting every day, all day. So I kind of like got a head start and things like that. So, and then going up to the other part, football wise, you know, once I started playing, and I'm realizing, you know, in my class, you know, my draft class was a pretty stacked linebacker draft class. So, you know, we had obviously Bobby Wagner, Luke Kuechly, Demario Davis, Dante Hightower, Danny Trevathan, there's a whole bunch of guys who are playing right away too as well. So in my mind, I'm competing with those guys. You know, obviously we got Luke in our division, so I got to see him twice a year every time. And you know, it's a hitting competitiveness. You know, obviously between that, you know, he beat me out in the buckets in college. You know, he always up there in tackles and stuff like that. So the competitive person in me, I'm, you know, kind of mad about it, whatever. So, and then it goes to the league, and he in the same division as me, and now he make a play against our offense, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta make a play against their offense. So that's the competitive part. You know, I just remember one year I had about 10 tackles, 2 picks, 1 pick six, and they played the next week on Thanksgiving. He had that exact same stats. And man, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, it was just crazy, but it's fun though. And the thing about it is, like, we all have a really, really great relationship, but we all know at the same time, you know, we competitive. We want to be the best at that position, want to win, and you want to dominate. Like, every time we play Carolina, I gotta, you know, it's me versus him. It's 59 versus 54. We play Seattle, it's 54 versus 54. So, and we all know that, and you know, that's just the competitive part of it, but it's loving, you know, that's why you play the game, man, and to compete, to get those wins, to feel good about it, and you want to continue to do that, and those things are definitely fun for me.
Cool, we'll keep it going. You gotta leave.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Sir, thank you, my boy. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate y'all time.
No doubt.
Hey, best of luck to you.
Absolutely.
Brother.
Thank you.
Good luck, babe. Go Buckeyes.